Okay, so yesterday I was watching a girl named the Draconic Priestess, I think. She's a tarot card reader. Oh, I have geese flying over me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 geese flying over me right now. I'll figure out what that means in a minute, okay? Anyway, I was watching the Draconic Priestess, and she something in one of her readings yesterday really, I don't know, it made me want to answer it, okay? So she kept saying how these people want to know how do high priestesses know all this stuff, okay? How are you still standing? How like that's pretty much was her point. Like how, like they don't understand how. So I can't say how anymore without feeling like an asshole, so I'm gonna tell you how. Right? So this is how, okay? I had a forced spiritual evolution. Okay, that's what I consider it to be. It was forced in 2 different ways. I forced myself, and other people forced me, okay? The way I forced myself was I decided to be a guinea pig for to learn about frequency. It was a topic that I was highly interested in. I still am. I think it's an amazing thing to deal with. It can heal. It can change you. It can do a lot of things. It can change your DNA. I forced myself because I wanted my gifts. I knew I had them, and I knew they were at this very low level, but I wanted more. So I decided to open my pineal gland through frequency. I do not suggest anyone does that without fully researching the subject, and I'm not talking about watching videos on YouTube here. All right, this is a disclaimer. I am not telling you to do this. I was a guinea pig, and yes, it worked, but there were a lot of consequences also that I was not ready for. Luckily, I was built for this shit. The way that other people forced me into it was by testing me. They did some really mean, sneaky things behind my back, and I was forced to figure it out myself, which in turn made my spiritual muscles grow, okay? So not only did I open up my third eye and rise my own kundalini, I was also tested on a daily basis for, I'm going to guess, approximately 4 years. Even though I know they were fucking with me before that, it's actually been since my daughter was born, which is why I think my ex has a lot to do with it. Because a lot of the stuff that has happened to me, a lot of the bad stuff that has happened to me, didn't happen until he was back in my life. That's a fact. No one ever called me crazy when I actually was crazy, you know? Then he comes back and all of a sudden my whole family's calling me crazy. Mind you, they've stolen from me, they've ripped me off, they've abused me, they've thrown me out, they've done whatever, and then under the guise of helping me. So I had to figure out these things on my own, and they were constant. It was a very abusive situation all around. And they were doing this while I was trying to raise my daughter in a peaceful, happy environment. Okay, so let's get back to how. Number 1, celibacy. I have been celibate for 10 years and 7 months. When I had my daughter, I took a vow of celibacy because my ex had left me with a baby, and it's okay because I was okay with that. I'm not blaming him. Let me just throw that out there. I'm not mad at him. I wasn't vengeful. I didn't care. I wanted to have my baby. He didn't want to have a baby. I was okay with that. I told him, go live your life. I will raise my baby. And that's what I was happy doing. If he wanted to be there, he could have. I did not force him because I didn't feel it was right. It was an accident when I got pregnant. Okay, I was drunk. It was the heat of the moment, and I screwed up, and yeah. So it was my fault that I got pregnant. Did I think I was going to get pregnant? No, I was drunk. But anyway, knowing that I had to raise this little girl by myself, and she was born 4 months early, I decided to take a vow of celibacy. So that had a lot to do with my awakening and being able to harness my own power, okay? Mythology. I studied mythology. I realized it's not a myth, it's history. Meditation. Frequency. Subliminals. I studied all of these things in depth. Water. Water is alive. It holds memory. Study it. Naturopathy. All right, being a naturopath is a very difficult thing to do in this day and age with all these medications that just take your little symptoms away as quick as you can pop a pill. I decided to take a natural path. That helped me. Home remedies. Ancient remedies. Studying all religions, not just one. Being open-minded. Science. How science and magic mix. History. The matrix theory. Alchemy. Financial alchemy and emotional alchemy and spiritual alchemy. They are 3 different things, okay? Emotional detachment. I mastered that. Human biology. It's important to know these things if you're going to be awakened and if you're going to get your gifts. Solar weather. Solar weather has a lot to do with your awakening because when there are solar flares and geomagnetic storms, it does affect the body. Astrology, astronomy, prophecy, hypnosis, dreams, the golden ratio, symbolism, dream interpretation, astral projection, sleep paralysis, exorcism, King Solomon's seal, narcissism, and demons, which are one and the same. Law of attraction, law of assumption, the 48 laws of power, the book of Enoch, the book of Jasher, the book of Thomas, the book of Jubilees, the book of Mary Magdalene. I read them and listened to them all. The age of Aquarius, the age of Pisces, gotta know your history. The ascension, magic, demons, demonology, angels, the realms, MK Ultra, the pineal gland, pituitary gland, Kundalini awakening, cults, secret societies, numerology, gematria, laws of nature, CERN, black holes, dark matter, hundreds of declassified documents I've read, okay, hundreds. Native American teachings, body language, and microaggressions, okay? That's just the few that I thought of between the last night and now it's like last night before I went to bed. So probably within 3 hours, I wrote all that down, okay? There's your how. I studied. And because I was in how do I say this? Because I was in a mode where I was able to absorb this information and put it together and put it together like a 1,000-piece puzzle. There were things that I saw that many people out there cannot comprehend. But this is my path. It's not theirs. They need to mind their business. But I figured I'd tell you how. Knowledge, that's how. Knowledge is power. The more you learn about the things they don't want you to know, the more powerful you become. Don't go down the rabbit hole and expect to come up sane unless you're ready. In the beginning, I was not ready. I may have lost it a little bit, but I did have people fucking with me on a constant basis, so yeah, thanks for that. It took me a little while to get it and to understand what was going on around me, but I got it, and I'm perfectly aware now. So that's how. That's how. It was not easy. I did this all while raising a child by myself with no child support, with people down my throat about every little thing I fucking did because they couldn't understand why I was so enthralled in this stuff. Because it's my fucking purpose, you nosy dick. But none of y'all wanted to get to know me. None of you wanted to understand me. So of course you judged me. And that's fine. Good luck with that when you hit heaven, you know? But the rabbit hole is a very intricate system of tunnels, okay? It's not just a hole. It's a labyrinth. And some of those things that I studied, I've been studying since I was a teenager. Like astrology and astronomy and tarot. Some of those things I began to learn when I was celibate because I didn't have a man to take up my time. My child did not suffer in any way while I was learning these things. I had a headphone in while I was cooking breakfast. And it was very fun. And I miss that. I miss being able to dive in and learn. But these people have literally taken every bit of comfort that I had. Every little thing that they could take from me, they took. My memories, things that I had saved from my grandmom's death, my father's death. They didn't care. They left me with nothing. And the last thing they were able to take was my daughter. And I will get her back. I will never stop fighting for her. 13:13 on the clock when I said that. And when I get her back, she will be the next in line to learn all of this stuff. Like, she already knows so much, age appropriately. And a lot of it comes natural to her because it is her purpose, not because